It is the Worst of the Riot podcast. Happy New Year, everybody.
My goodness, the very first one for 2022.
Yeah, and hopefully this is the worst. Hopefully it gets better from here, you know what I mean?
It's only up?
Yeah, hopefully every podcast after today will be better.
I don't know. What if we're at the ceiling and this is as up as we can
go? As good as it gets, you better enjoy it now.
What else should we do?
This is the high point.
Yeah,
right
enjoy
here.
it while we're here.
Well, what do we have coming up, Isaiah?
So today, one thing that we talked about that I thought sounded just terrible was having to quarantine in a very tight place.
In a toilet, plain bathroom.
Yeah.
I know, and for me, I get a little bit claustrophobic. I think I would lose my mind.
Yeah,
well,
you'd only be able to sit down on the toilet.
I know.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lid, but that's not any better.
No.
Still, yeah. And this is the thing that really bothered me. No windows.
No. Is there a window in a plain bathroom?
I don't think so.
I don't think there is
This is an
either.
international bathroom. I can't remember from her TikTok. I'm not sure.
There should be a window in a bathroom. It's not like anybody's going to see you in there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
What do you think? Yeah.
It could be worse. There's a ton of on my For You page for TikToks of people that are quarantined, when they go to a different country.
Yeah.
And they got to spend 10 or 14 days in a hotel.
Oh, yeah.
A ton of those hotels have no windows. And so you spend that whole time.
Oh,
and this
no.
one, I think it was in Japan, this one hotel, they actually put the film over the window to frost it. Even though it was a high rise and no one, why take the view off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was contemplating trying to pull the,
Yeah.
the thing off just so you could, you need a window.
Yeah.
But
Then otherwise you feel like you're
going crazy.
yeah,
Literally.
you literally get whatever kind of mental issue it is. I
And
don't
you're
know.
getting no fresh air, no nothing.
Yeah,
you
right.
can't open those windows. But in the bathroom, you don't want any air circulation. You're fine.
Yeah, you're doing good. So we talked about that. We also went over our New Year's resolutions and how we all pretty much have the exact same one.
Very similar, isn't it? We basically all want to stop eating fast food, pretty much.
Yeah.
Stop
Sounds like.
spending money on it.
Yeah, mine isn't even that I want to eat healthier. I don't want to eat the fast food. It's just I just don't want to spend money on the fast food because I know it's
Now,
more
what
expensive.
you could do is you could take this and go the next step and then look online and find, how to make your own Chipotle bowl and stuff. So you could make your own mock meals.
Yeah. Are
And
you
then-
much
but
of-
it
are
seems
you much
like
of a
you don't
cook,
even want to
Isaiah?
do that.
See,
You're
I-
just making bread and meat.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a bad cook, but I also, if I have the opportunity to not put any effort in,
You prefer
then
that.
I would prefer to do
yeah.
that. I like making food and stuff, and I think I can do a decent job at it. But at the same time, if I can just make a sandwich and it's really easy, or if I can just warm something up, I would rather do the convenient route every time.
Learn about our New Year's resolutions, and if you have any good ones, because I feel like I want to branch out. I want there's the A one,
Yeah.
but then a B and C might not be
Yes,
bad. Just to
yes.
have some backup plans.
I was
in
thinking
case
about
it
that
doesn't
too.
work out. So text your resolutions to 877-2-RADIO-U. We might just take one of yours.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe if they text in some good ones, I'd be like,
Yeah, we
oh,
could
well,
do
maybe
that.
that's not a bad idea for me, too.
That was one we wanted to do the whole time.
Yeah. So, tomorrow we'll have 7 more new ones.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
see all you guys' text.
Perfect.
But we also touched on people are dyeing their dogs.
They're dyeing the hair of the dogs.
I know. When I said it, I was like, that doesn't really sound right. But I was like, does it sound bad, too?
Isaiah, Nikki, I don't know if you were listening, but Nikki she supports the dog hair dyeing, but she doesn't think her dogs could do it. What do you think? Would
you ever dye the
forget
hair on
about
your
the
dog?
practicality of it, but would you ever consider dyeing Jim's hair?
See, I know I could
Jim, your dog.
if I wanted to because I know that Jim would let me. Because
Yeah.
if I put him in the bathtub,
Yeah.
he just freezes. He doesn't move. He's fine in there.
And if you really needed to, just give him a treat.
Yeah,
He's not
exactly.
gonna
If
go
I give him
anywhere.
any food, he would
Yeah.
just sit there for hours. He does not care. So he doesn't mind being in the bath. I know I could do it. And he's half white, half orange. And so
You could do a good color combo.
I know I could do a good color combo. Would I ever do it though? No, because I think I'd feel bad.
Yeah.
But I also
See, that's what I think too.
It's just a bath to
But it-
them. They don't know.
But at the same time, too, I also make him look silly all the time. He's been wearing a Santa outfit for a week and a half now. So I really at the
Isaiah,
same
maybe
time.
that's why he pees in your bed.
No, at the
He's
same
tired of you
time.
dressing him.
And I just got him this new thing. It's this little little scarf that he puts on. That it goes. He wears it all the time. It goes around his neck. And it's supposed to, he has big ears because he's a basset hound, and so it holds his ears back. When I put his little hood up, and they're stuck in there, and it's like a little like bear one, so he has like little bear ears instead. And so like he wears it around his neck all the time like a scarf, and so whenever we go outside, because his ears get so wet, I'll like put his little hood on so that it'll hold him back. So I make him look like an idiot pretty much nonstop. So I don't think dyeing his hair like would be really that bad.
One step away from coloring his fur.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't
you're
stop
getting
now.
close,
Keep
eh?
going.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be against it. Would I take the time to do it? I don't know, but it probably would be hilarious.
Aw, it'd be cute. I love it when it gets down to it, whether it's, not eating out and eating in or dyeing your hairs for your dogs. We're just so lazy. We don't actually want to do
know.
anything.
That's a great point.
I'm like, it's a great idea, but it just sounds like a lot of effort.
Yeah, I don't want to do it.
Is that it?
That's everything.
That's all the podcast.
That's what the podcast
Right.
is. There's some other things in there too, but those were some of the
That's
good
the only
ones
stuff worth talking about.
Yeah. For now.
Well, enjoy the podcast today. Welcome to the new year. We hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas and New Year's, and we are super happy to be back.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Catch you next time.
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So, are you familiar with Lake Superior State, the university in Michigan?
Maybe. Well, Lake
Well,
Superior,
you know
when
what?
you said that, I thought something else.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if I know this particular school.
I don't. The school is less important, but I guess they're notable only because at the end, or I'm sure they wouldn't like me to not say only.
They don't like anything you're saying right now.
Yeah, right. They are notable primarily because at the end of every year, they put out a new list of banned phrases and words that you're not supposed to say.
Oh, for the
like
new year.
Trendy things that we need to leave behind. And so they've done this since the 70s. And so now we have their list of stuff that you're not supposed to say as you start a new year in 2022.
Well, now you have more pressure for the first of the year. You didn't know that you're supposed to diet, work out, and stop saying certain things.
Yeah. So here's what you need to stop saying. And we'll see if, Nikki, if you say any of these.
There's 10 words.
The top of the list is the phrase, wait, what?
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
No, I know quite a few people though that have that
They
in
need
their
to hear
arsenal.
this list.
They need to hear this list.
They need to listen to Lake Superior State University.
They do. They overuse that.
Yeah. Let's see what else wound up on the list. In the past, I have what's on the list in the past, and there are things that I don't even remember. So I guess it's the list is doing a good job. New normal was on the list. That actually was number 8. Why did they not just have the list in the story from 1 to 10?
They don't want to do that.
No, that would be too easy. That'd be too much easy
They
work.
say that because we've been doing this now for a few years, the new normal is the normal, and you can't keep saying new normal.
Yeah, that one I can totally get behind. I don't know. I'm with people with the Lake Superior State on that. Here's one. You're on mute.
Oh yeah, for all the Zoom calls and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. See, that shows how little Zoom calls I did. Because I was thinking like Twitch. Like you've been muted on Twitch or something like that.
No,
Nope,
that's totally a Zoom call. That's a meeting thing.
Supply chain
That one's
is
still
on there.
Hey, I know we don't want to say that one, but
Yeah.
that one's still very relevant.
Oh, I'm tired of it though.
Well, of course you are.
Can we just come up with another phrase for it?
Well, can't we also have our stuff that's in boats still that we can't because there's a supply chain problem?
I guess we can.
So that one I feel like you might still hear.
Now, where's the middle of the list? Where's the middle of the list? That's what I want to know. We went from 1 to 8 and then 9 and 10, and I don't have the rest of the list in this story.
It's going to bother you.
It is going to bother me.
You're gonna have to look it
I'm going to be
up.
saying the other 7 things I'm not supposed to say.
All right. I am trying to look. It doesn't even look like it's linked in the article.
I know this is. I don't want to. It's a local news place, and this is why you're not on the bigger news network. This is because you're not giving us the full list here.
Yeah, that's it.
And this is why we're not on a bigger network either.
That we can't because we didn't look him up ahead of time.
That's right.
Well, just realize this. Wait, what is like the main one.
Yeah,
so
you don't
if
wanna
you know
say that.
someone who says that, that's the top of the banished word list. That is the one to focus on.
You have any you want to add in?
No, I think the wait, what is good.
That's good. That in supply chain, that's good enough for you.
Looks like the second one was no worries. So they
Do
say
people say that?
they say that that's dismissive.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. The Riot, RadioU.
I have good news, Nikki.
Yeah.
Some might think that the pandemic has been all doom and gloom, all bad news, but it has had at least one positive effect that I can think of.
What is it?
And that is that less cars were set on fire in France.
Oh, you just don't know about these things.
Yeah, it is a French tradition, evidently, for New Year's that they set cars on fire. I don't know if it's as much of a real tradition as it's just, something that
families do together.
Yeah, right. You watch the ball drop and then you set some cars on fire.
So, okay, I don't know if you know the answer. So is this you burn your own car?
Oh,
or
no.
People go on a burning car?
No, it's, how, like in the U.S. and in other countries, if your team loses or wins in a championship, sometimes there'll be, kind of, what do they call it?
You get rowdy?
Yeah, things just get out of hand. There's cars getting tipped over, lit on fire, people dancing in the streets with their shirts off. So that's France for New Year's. They really like to party hard, and part of the partying is setting cars on fire, just not abandoned, but just random parked cars, right? With nobody in them.
So it says that 874 cars were burned this New Year's.
Which feels like a lot.
Yes, that does, doesn't it?
But compared to 2 years ago, the 2019 New Year's Eve, 1,316 cars were burned. So they dialed it back.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And they chalked that up to the pandemic. And you might be thinking,
oh, you don't want to go out and, go with other people.
Oh, you wouldn't
anymore?
want to catch COVID.
Not from burning the car.
Not from burning the cars, but it's actually not exactly that. It's because they chalk it up to, especially this year, increased police presence as they tried to enforce law and order and restrictions on public gatherings and face masks across the country, due to the pandemic. So isn't that nice that they can mobilize the police force to enforce mask wearing, but not to enforce not setting cars on fire?
I mean, they haven't gotten rid of it completely, so it's still a tradition.
Yeah.
For France and New Year's, it's weird. There's this old show called Top Gear, and it moved into the Grand Tour, and they had a special, and I watched it during Christmas break. And it's about France. It's about how people treat their cars there.
Yeah.
And how people get together and burn and trash cars and they just don't care about their cars.
Yeah.
So I actually think I understand this more.
Yeah, they just don't value.
They don't value cars the same way.
Well.
And so
it makes sense, right?
I would suggest that special.
Name a famous French car company. You can't. There isn't one.
You can't. And they were just talking about how they usually make more compact cars. They're not like SUVs, and they just drive them until they're dead.
Yeah.
And then they just get another gently burned car. But they don't ever put too much into it.
They don't have an appreciation for all that finely tuned machinery.
Well, I didn't know. So in France, for New Year's, they had a less amount of cars burned, but still quite a lot more than you thought people would burn.
I wonder if the tradition of the police being out on New Year's Eve will continue.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
Did you see this woman shortly before Christmas is when it actually happened, but then she kind of went viral on TikTok. She was going viral on a plane. The problem was she, while in mid-flight, realized she might have COVID.
Oh, she was the bathroom person.
Bathroom woman.
Oh.
Yep. This is, her name is Marie Fortio or something like that. Maris Fortio is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but her name is Maris, and she was on a flight from Chicago to Iceland.
That's only 5 hours?
No, the whole flight is longer, I thought.
Well,
but
she was in the bathroom
But she was
for 5
mid-flight.
hours.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
in the mid-flight. She said she started to get some symptoms where she thought, discomfort in her throat about halfway through the flight. So I guess it's about a 10-hour flight. About halfway through the flight, she had some throat discomfort, and she thought this could be COVID. And so she goes to the bathroom and actually has a rapid COVID test ready to go.
Which, isn't that a shame? Because everybody's been trying to find and just stock up on them.
And she just had them.
She just had one
Yeah.
in her bag.
And-
but yet you can't find one.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's fortunate that she did have it, because She runs to the bathroom, takes the test. It turns out positive. And so she had to, I don't know what the airline would have actually told her, but she just said she just holed up in the bathroom for the rest of the flight. She said that's the best she could do.
So that was
They're
her
over the
decision?
Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, I thought the people asked her.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
she must have made that decision, which is good. She said she stayed in there for the remainder of the flight, which was around 5 hours.
yeah. Well, I don't know. What do you think if you were concerned about what the airline would do, what would you do?
Stay in the bathroom.
Yeah, right? Because that's the safest thing you can do. It's just,
even though I've watched some of her TikToks on it.
Yeah.
I feel like, and we've not maybe taken this type of international flight, that bathroom seems a tiny bit bigger than the normal
doesn't
bathrooms
it?
we
Yeah,
have.
right.
It's like you look at it, you're like, that's not a bathroom on a plane, is it? But it is for international.
Yeah, I just kept thinking, and I know there had to be more than one bathroom on the plane, but I just kept thinking, what if there was a line? You know, especially if somebody went in, was waiting, like they saw her and they're like, I'm going to go next. And then you know how you do on a plane, you just keep waiting for the person to come out.
Yeah.
And she never comes out.
Well,
and you're like really holding it. It's like, I can't make it all the way to Iceland.
She must have told people. And actually, it's not the worst idea because I think there was more room in there than your seat
I
area.
know.
So outside of the fact that you have to quarantine in there.
They said, or she said that she was able to connect with a flight attendant.
Oh, so she got food and drinks.
Yeah, so the flight attendant took care of her in there, gave her some food and drinks. But yeah, I guess that actually is not a bad idea. If you want to like have a luxury plane trip, you quarantine in the bathroom. You don't have to have COVID. It's just like, sorry, I'm not feeling really well.
What you need to do though is, and it's not a joking matter, but what if you just made it seem like you had it and then you quarantine near the first class bathroom?
I can tell you why. Because like she did, you'd have to quarantine wherever you land as well.
Oh, you still most of the time need to anyways.
Yeah.
But then you could just be like, it was a false positive.
She had to stay in the Red Cross, in a Red Cross hotel.
She had to isolate there.
Where she had to isolate in Iceland, isolating in Iceland. And she actually was supposed to go on to Switzerland to meet her family there and wasn't able to.
Aw, well, at least she stayed safe, and that was
important. She stayed
important.
safe, and she, it seems, did the best she could to not infect anybody else with COVID.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
There was just so much football, so much sports going on over the past few days. It was very exciting to watch. But when there's a story that even people that aren't that interested in football are talking about, it's either something really big, really good, or really bad. And I think in this case it would be really bad.
I think so too.
Antonio Brown, the wide receiver, he was for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and a pretty good one. And
but he
yesterday,
has had problems, right?
He has had issues in the past. The Bucks rescued him after he was previously kind of kicked out of the league.
Yeah.
He had a lot of issues with the Oakland Raiders at a time when he was with them, I believe, or was it the Steelers? I don't even remember. He's been around the league and had issues with multiple teams. And so his issue yesterday was he was the guy that was out there at the Bucks-Jets game. They told, evidently, he got into an argument with the coach. The coach told him to go in the game.
Yeah.
He didn't want to. He refused.
He didn't want to play?
He didn't want to play. He didn't want to get on the field. And so that eventually led to him stripping out of his uniform, taking off his jersey, taking off his shoulder pads, taking off his gloves, throwing them into the stands.
Somehow riling up, like getting the crowd.
Yeah, right.
He keeps going like, hey,
Yeah.
as he makes his way out of the field.
Yep, and
he just leaves.
Yeah, he just walks off the field mid-game. And they said after the game, the Buccaneers have said that he is no longer a member of the team. I don't know if that was if that's kind of a you can't fire me, I quit situation or what. I mean, you're not going to cut him mid-game, but he quit mid-game. So
when I watched it, and then like everybody's response, because after the game they were like, he's not a part of the Bucs and all that stuff. Like he's not a part of the team anymore. I wasn't sure if, and maybe I feel like with Antonio Brown, there was even more behind the scenes stuff. And
Oh,
they were
there
probably
has to be.
always mad at him.
Yeah.
And then I bet you if I was the coach, I'd be like, he's taking his shirt off. All right, he's out.
Yeah,
they'd
right.
be
Like,
so
they've just been
excited that
waiting.
They waiting for a big enough meltdown from him to be able to cut him from the team.
If you remember, he had just been suspended 3 games.
Oh,
He
I
had
didn't
just
know
recently
that.
come back. It was like a couple weeks ago. And that was because he was a guy who had a fake COVID vaccine card and was like distributing them to other members of the team as well.
Oh, that was
so
him.
that's him as well. So there's been stuff going on with him for some reason, and I do believe this is the reason that the Bucs have put up with him for so long. I mean, he is pretty good. He's maybe not as good as he's always been, but like he's not in his prime anymore, but still very good. One of the best receivers in the league. So there, you're going to put up with him for that, but also that Tom Brady really likes him. Like Tom Brady is friends with Antonio Brown and has stuck up for him so many times because
but
he
if you
really
don't
likes
wanna
playing
play-
with him. But it's hard to stick up for. I don't think Tom Brady is the kind of guy that's going to be fine with somebody quitting mid-game.
Sure.
So that doesn't seem like something that would fly in the Tom Brady world.
Well, I'm sure there'll be more about the Antonio Brown situation, but
Yeah.
he's not a part of the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
And it is weird when you see someone. It doesn't look like a meltdown when he's doing it.
Yeah.
But to know like he doesn't want to play and he's leaving the field,
Yeah.
that is a meltdown.
Uh-huh.
And that's a temper tantrum.
Yeah. I mean, in football, it's just weird because you see arguments, you see fights between teammates on the sidelines and players and coaches and whatever.
But you still play.
But yeah, you still, at your job, you might expect every so often to see somebody that's just like, fine, I'm quitting in the middle of the workday. It's for some reason it's very rare in football, but it actually happened on
in radio,
Sunday.
it'd be like if we threw our headphones down
In the
and
middle
walked
of the
out,
show,
and
yeah.
just walked out the building.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy dandy fast forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Let us know what your New Year's resolution will be, if any.
Well, that way, if you haven't decided on one, but you really wanted one, maybe a last minute idea will come in.
Yeah. Or you let us know what you're doing, and we'll be a support system for you.
Yeah, we'll
or
help ya.
more likely, we will make it very difficult for you because, I know a popular one is going to lose some weight, going to get on a diet, and maybe even work out. And that's not something that we're very good at supporting. As great as an idea as it is, it's not something that we really encourage. Just because we love talking about food so much.
It helps us to know because studies have shown that if you pick like a food-related New Year's resolution, you'll last till, what do they normally say? Like it's 2 weeks? Or,
like January 14th.
Yeah, it's like till the 17th or like the 19th. And then if you're making like dry you air, you might last longer.
Yeah.
Or if you might do like more sleep or something. So there's different points in January that are normally the markers.
Yeah.
And how long will you make depending on what your resolution is.
So, do any of us have resolutions going?
I do.
Yeah.
Mine is I want to eat out less. I want to eat out less. I don't want to go out for lunch anymore because before I was going out to eat for lunch.
You want it delivered?
Every single day I was going to Chipotle, and then I added up how much money I was spending at Chipotle, and it was just an ungodly amount. Like giving Chipotle that much money just seemed wrong. Like,
It's sad to hear this.
yes, exactly. They're like, Isaiah, we love you at Chipotle. Keep coming back.
He was going every day.
Every day. So now I'm going to pack my lunch more. And my goal is I want to eat out 3 times or less a week.
Okay.
That seems pretty good, right?
That's good. I think that's a
3 times or less.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, that seems
people
pretty reasonable.
would say like, oh, I'm never going to eat out again. And
Yeah.
that does not last.
Oh,
You
no.
have to give yourself a little bit.
Because I know on the weekends I'm going to eat out at least once on Saturday and at least once on Sunday. And that leaves like one time during the week where, because I'm going to pack my lunch every day for like lunch, but one time a week for dinner that I can
see.
eat out as well.
So did you pack your lunch today?
I did. I have food here that I'm going to eat.
What did you bring?
I have ham.
Ham? That's
Sandwich?
it? Just ham?
No, I have ham and I have bread, and that's what I'm going to eat.
That's a sandwich.
Yeah, I have a ham sandwich. That's what I have for lunch today.
Did you bring anything else?
Nope,
Like
that's it.
one ham sandwich?
That's it. I mean,
or-
I have a loaf of bread in there. I think it's either ham or turkey that I have in the fridge, and
so
that's
you
what
can
I'm
make
gonna
that each
Yeah,
day.
I'm just gonna make that every day.
All right.
Well, you need
Well-
more than just a sandwich.
Well, I'm only because I can leave. I get off early, so I can leave and go home, make myself more food. But I just need something to tie me over until I get home.
Yeah. What did you bring for breakfast?
Oh, I just have like a protein shake and I just ate a granola bar.
It's
so.
not enough.
You're good.
And my energy drink, I drank that too. So I'm feeling pretty full right now.
I love it. You're like, what's the goal for this new you? I'd like to make a ham sandwich
Yeah.
every day.
Every day I'm just going to make a ham sandwich.
Well, what's yours, Nikki? Do you have any?
I would like to stop having my second dinner in the evening.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Because you're even like during Christmas break, and Eric wasn't a help either. You're like, yeah, you want to go get something to eat? You're like,
Yeah.
dinner. And you're like, well, what's a later dinner?
Yeah.
So I think we're just going to do that.
That's the big one in my house as well.
So eating out less also, it seems like to be the
Yeah.
new one.
I've made some rules, and these are things that initially I remember making. I don't know, after a vacation like earlier this year or last year, I guess I should say. But now I'm sticking to it. And my wife is on board as well, where, because just like when you're married or when you're living with somebody, even if you have
team
a
effort.
great plan
Yeah.
of like, I'm not going to do this, when the other person, like, you just feed off of each other. And so my wife and I are both in the new year. We're having a competition. So that's how it's going to really be something where we're all going to stick to what we're doing, where we're not going to eat out as much.
So is that everybody's thing? We just don't want to eat
I think so.
out.
I think we all want to.
Is that what it is? Like, is that what your New Year's resolution is?
Yeah.
It's like not
just
eating
to
out less?
not-
Okay.
it's to lose weight.
Okay.
Which, is that a resolution? Does
And
that
save
count?
money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Save money, lose
Yep,
weight, yeah.
Yeah. Not work out.
No.
I don't think I'm going to do that.
No.
But definitely with the just
Well,
being.
let me get the calendar. Let's pick the date we think we can last till. So.
I love it. I think if
find
you can
that,
make it through January, I think you'll make it. I think you can do it.
I
well,
think
you can. You have a loaf of bread in there.
Yeah, exactly. I can make it at least a week or two.
all of our, in a way, are very vague, our resolutions as well. So that should make it easier to stick to them as well. You just write on. No, that wasn't included.
That doesn't count.
Isaiah, you're specific 3 times a week.
Yeah.
But that's still pretty generous, I feel, of.
Hey, that's good for me. I was
mean, if
eating
it's
like
coming
9 or
back,
10
it's
before.
coming back. It's so, but for Nikki, it's a second dinner, and for me, just like not eating out, and we'll see how the
Hudson's was the vaguest by far. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't even know what it was. Like
that's
when you
my
were
plan.
talking, you was like, it's just kind of like we're doing it together, and
competition.
it's a competition.
That-
And I was like, well, what are you doing?
So, yes, I'm going to lose weight by any means necessary except working out, so that I can beat my wife.
That sounds bad.
Yeah,
You
it does
just say
sound
that.
I know.
Well, all right. Does anybody have any non-food or money for food spending related resolutions? Feel free to text at 877 Radio U, and that way we can all help each other on our resolutions to being the best that we can be.
Yeah.
And all the New Year's stuff you're supposed to say to yourself.
A happier, healthier 2022.
There it is.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
How are we feeling about 2022?
So far, I guess, when you're 3 days in,
Yeah.
pretty good.
It hasn't been so bad so far, right?
Even though for a lot of us, today's like the first real day
Yeah, this
to
is the
experience
test.
it. This is going to be the hardest.
Well, I have a poll here about how people are feeling heading into 2022. And it turns out that people are actually more fearful and less optimistic about 2022, like to start the year, than they were about 2021 when we started 2021. So 1 year ago, we are feeling like, hey, 2021 is going to be a great year. At least more so than we feel 2022 is going to be a great year.
I think now we're just more comfortable in knowing that it's all bad anyways.
Yeah.
So what are we going to get?
This is an Axios poll that they do every year. So they say that in 2021, when we were going into that year, it's not that we're more fearful and less optimistic this year. It's not that we are. It's not that is bizarre compared to other years. It's the 2021 starting last year was the bizarre year because I guess with COVID ending and stuff like that, we thought we are so
And then it wasn't.
we are abnormally optimistic starting last year.
Sure.
According to the survey, where now this year we're going back to normal. Back to the normal amount of optimism, which is not that much.
Well, I guess I can't really remember 100%, but I feel like I remember last Christmas it was all it was bad at Christmas, but then it'll be better right after because we just can't get together as like family and friends.
If you remember, at that time last year, we were just getting the vaccine. So I think a lot of people that was the end to them of the pandemic is over. We missed out on a lot of stuff, but now we get to have a fun year again.
Well, and then going into this Christmas, if you watch anything with news or if you stay, on top of it,
yeah.
I feel like we've just been hit with so much negative stuff that they could have done a little better job.
Yeah.
And maybe throwing in some positive stuff. So I feel like everybody's probably more down than just coming off of all that.
Yeah. When you're looking at the actual numbers, they say 54% of people surveyed said they are more fearful than hopeful for what's to come in 2022.
Well,
44% was the opposite.
I also feel like this is not our style because if anybody came up to me to ask me about a survey, I would automatically be distrusting.
You would?
Just nervous because I just don't do those.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe we're more positive, but the study just shows more negative.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that too because they also say another thing was 51% specific to the U.S. say they think the U.S. will be more like going downhill. They're more fearful than hopeful for how things are going to be in the U.S. And I think to myself, like for the U.S. and the world as a whole, if you're asking me how things are going to be, I don't think things are going to get greatly better. Like, I don't know. I just don't. I guess you could call me pessimistic, but I just don't.
Yes, Mr. Pessimistic.
Yeah, I just don't think that the trajectory doesn't really feel great. I don't remember a time where I've been like, things are getting better across the world. Things just seem to be getting globally better. But that doesn't mean that I don't think, like, day to day, I don't think I'm pessimistic. You know what I mean? I think for my life, I think things will be fine. I think for people's, for people's lives in general, people are going to be fine. It's just, is the world going in a great direction in the next year? I don't know.
Well, I don't think it's dumpster fire like, but
no.
I feel like
it's just always something though. And it's always like that.
With your resolutions, maybe a good one is to be more positive.
Yeah. Whether it's day to day or big picture.
No, I don't even look at big picture.
You don't
anymore.
even want to look at the big
picture. Don't even look at big picture. Close your eyes.
You can't be pessimistic if you don't think about it.
If there's nothing to look at, just work on the day-to-day small things that are more manageable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, find the little joy.
Why pay for so many streaming services that you don't really care about when you can not really care about the Riot for free? RadioU.
Have you seen anyone on TikTok dyeing their dog?
Like different colors?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say no, but I haven't noticed it being like a trend.
It's not a trend for you?
Not that I've seen.
But you've seen at least somebody do it.
Well, yeah.
I've
seen people in real life do it.
Does it tempt you?
It would be Rolo if I did, and he just barely can handle someone.
If you did?
Listen.
It sounds like you're considering it.
Okay. Rolo can barely get his hair brushed. So I can't imagine him sitting at the salon for a doggy hair dye thing.
Oh, I was thinking just you doing it at home.
No. Oh, gosh, no. But I've seen amazing ones. Like they make them look like, I don't know, like cheetahs or like panda bears and stuff. So I've seen plenty of people doing that for their dogs.
Well, we have a woman here. Her name is Issa Beastly, it looks like. I don't know if that's her real name, but she's on TikTok, and she attempted to dye her dog at home. She had seen it going around.
Color.
And it did not go well in multiple ways. One, the dog, she wanted to dye it red. So she tried mixing orange and pink dye for the dog. And I mean, you can see, Nikki.
It's just orange.
That's just, well, if you look at, it's orange. And then if you look at the back of the dog, like you look at different angles.
It's pink on the other side.
It did not mix. And it does not look good. I'm sorry to say for that dog.
Her biggest concern also was not only for dyeing the dog's hair, but I guess in her apartment.
Yeah, that's the other issue because the dog obviously did not stay still, did not wait. I know I've never dyed my hair, but my wife has and stuff. Like you have to just keep that under control or it will dye other things.
It'll get away from you.
You got to be careful with it. And so with a dog, it's not surprising if you're doing it at home, that dog is not going to sit still in the bathtub or wherever it may be long enough to let that dye set before it can get on everything. And so, yeah, the bathroom, the walls. You can just see the entire wall. There's like the smudges of the dye all around to the same level where the dog was.
It looks like if someone was murdered, that was orange and pink.
If Gritty was killed.
It'd be worth it if it looked better, but I don't think the dog looks very good. So not only you have that, it didn't work out, and you're in trouble then with your deposit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the best for her.
See, so that now you don't seem concerned about the dog and the whole thing. Like, besides that the dog doesn't look good.
You can totally dye your dog's hair.
I know you can, but should you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Why? You know what? Maybe your dog wants it. Your dog would like to. It just has no way to tell you.
Yeah.
Because I used to do.
Well, I guess you could say you could do that for anything for a dog.
That's true. The dog really wants me to buy a car today.
Yeah, right.
It wants a new car. Like for my dog, we used to have a mohawk shaved on top of his head. And I always thought, I asked one time if they could color that part.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no, he couldn't sit for it. So I was turned down.
Well, some people are concerned.
Just do it at home.
Well, you should try it.
Yeah, one day.
I would never do. Like I don't make my dog wear clothes. My dog is black, so dyeing would probably not go well for. Just add that to the reasons why it wouldn't go well.
Sure.
But I don't want to do stuff to my dog. She's happy.
Hudson.
She's just happy barking and lying around the house.
Can you please change your thinking? It's doing things with your dog, not to your dog.
Or for my dog.
For your
Yeah,
dog.
no. I think she's just. I think she is pretty good at conveying what she wants.
And she doesn't
She
want
wants
that.
to bark at things. And she wants me to give her like cheeseburgers.
Well, Rollo,
that's what she wants.
Now that Hudson's brought this up, Rollo, just to let you know, I'm going to look on Amazon to see about doggy hair dye. And he already has a couple of hoodies, so he already has clothes.
And you don't rent, so you don't have to worry about your deposit.
So I'll just try it maybe outside.
You can ruin your house. It's fine.
I'm not ruining. I'm making my dog's life better. All right.
And dyeing your bathroom as well.
Yep.
Yeah, it's due for a paint job.
If they keep talking long enough, they're bound to say something that you agree with. The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
Over the weekend, we have determined who will be playing in the College Football National Championship game, which is coming up next Monday, right?
Yes.
1 week from today. It will be Alabama and Georgia.
Does everybody go with that, or we don't like that?
That's
Not at
fine.
all. I feel that that is just not exciting.
Oh, sure.
I want to be.
You want something new?
I do, and especially the hopes.
Fresh and exciting.
The hopes were high when Michigan and Cincinnati make it in. It's like, hey, maybe we'll get something a little different. And no, it's just two
Alabama.
SEC teams again. Always Alabama. But what I want, I feel that I should be appreciative, like what Alabama does. Eventually, I grew with the New England Patriots, with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in the NFL, to appreciate them. Even though I wasn't big fans initially, you just have to appreciate it because just nobody does what they do. Nobody did what they did for so long, win so much. Same thing with Alabama. It's just I want to grow to appreciate Nick Saban and appreciate Alabama because they just win so much. It's just not done.
Yeah, but
they're just so dominant, but I can't bring myself to do it. It's just boring to me.
I don't know if you feel the same way, Isaiah, but like that's fine for like a game. But if it's a bowl game and this is like the main thing you've been looking forward to, it would be nice if they're not always the same.
Yeah, right.
It's frustrating too because I understand that like obviously if you want to be different then just beat them. Like everyone's like put Cincinnati in there. We need something different, and then they just get bullied. They still have to win the game, and it's just upsetting because it's Alabama, Georgia. Obviously, people would say it's Ohio State and Clemson and these teams that are always in it. But if you want it to be different, then you just have to beat them, and nobody can beat them. And that's just how it is every year. But you can't beat Alabama, you can't beat Georgia, you can't beat Clemson, you can't beat Ohio State. And then these smaller schools like Cincinnati and all the smaller ones, they're like, well, this isn't fair. These same teams are in every year. Well, if you want to be different, then you just got to beat them.
It's good that Cincinnati at least got a shot this year, but you're totally right. It's just that's why I feel like I have to appreciate Alabama because everybody's just trying to beat them, and somehow like the rules are the same for everybody, pretty much. And Alabama still somehow winds up winning. I mean, Alabama gets invited to the party more.
Sure.
Yeah.
But that's because like they're dessert. Because every year when they're on the fringe of being invited to the party and they do well, then it's like, well, I guess you just have to invite them because they're going to win every time.
Well, was there any bowl games leading up to this matchup or anything that was good or unexpected?
Ohio State won.
Well,
we had a great game on Saturday. If anybody saw, Jackson Smith and Jigba broke the record for the most receiving yards in a single bowl game. He had 357 yards. And you just couldn't stop him.
So
there was no way to stop him.
I didn't watch it, but basically the first half was like awful,
Yeah.
and then they rallied
and
in
then
the locker room.
It
and
was
came
incredible.
back.
It was incredible. We literally they couldn't stop him. It was. I've never seen such a dominant performance by a wide receiver ever. I mean, he had 357 yards by himself. So it was pretty crazy. Quite the comeback. Utah put up a great game. They had a kick return touchdown. They looked really solid. And then Ohio State just came storming back and made by Saturday much better.
I also saw that I saw that there was a lot of important or exciting games, and I just I hate to say it, but I didn't get to watch a lot of it because I was so busy
He
with
had family.
family and
fair.
not as big. I didn't get to watch even as my family big hockey fans as we are, being from Canada. Didn't get to watch the outdoor NHL Winter Classic either, so I just missed out on everything.
Oh, I love that.
Unfortunately, they left in time for me to watch NFL yesterday.
That's the big one.
I said, you guys, you got to be out of here
Get
by
outta here.
1 p.m. on Sunday because I'm not missing NFL.
I like how you're like, I appreciate having family, but please, could you leave?
Yeah, please could you get out of here, please?
Well, I guess then we have the national championship to look forward to, and that's on next Monday.
Yeah.
But it's just, is it exciting enough to stay up? I mean, that's a work day,
Yeah.
guys. It's hard for us to do that.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's just like
Well, Isaiah's going to stay up and watch it.
I'll watch it.
You will.
I'll watch it. I mean, I'll probably watch it just because I want to see if Georgia can win. I'm pulling for Georgia to win just because they haven't won like the national championship and the college football playoff yet, where Alabama has had a couple. So.
Well, that means we don't have to all stay up. So
Yeah.
You can
Isaiah.
watch it. I already feel like I already know Alabama's going to win, and that's a credit to them. Like they're impressive. So I don't feel like I need to watch. So
Hudson's boycotting the national championship. Here we are. I knew it would come to this. We all knew it would come to this.
He's just in a negative mood today.
Yes.
I wish Ohio State was in it so I could watch and cheer against them.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
Stop
say.
saying that.
Enough, okay? Enough.
At least that'd be interesting. Alabama, I don't even want to watch.
Hudson, it's a new year. Let's have a new attitude,
Yeah,
okay? Could you
positive
bring
Ohio
something
State
a little
vibes.
bit nicer
Positive.
Oh, I don't have.
He doesn't have it in him.
No, I don't. You can't change a tiger stripe.
That's fine.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Starbucks has a new trick that they are testing out that may be making its way to a Starbucks near you sometime soon. Tell me how you feel about the idea of coffee popping pearls.
I would love it.
Yeah?
I love boba.
Uh-huh.
So basically, this is popping pearls is like boba, but they kind of burst. And with this, it'd be like coffee ones.
Yeah.
So I'd be
It
all
says
for this.
the pearls are filled with Starbucks coffee. And so if you were lucky enough to be near one of the locations where they are testing it, you can get those added into, I mean, it looks like your iced drinks, right? So tell me about these pearls.
Yeah.
Do you imagine?
Have you ever had boba?
I've never had, but that does not appeal to me whatsoever.
You know, I didn't think so. I
Yeah.
don't think you're the market.
No, definitely not.
You're not the target. And that's fine. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean you wouldn't maybe enjoy it if you tried it.
Yeah.
But they're basically like boba's like tapioca, like chewy little balls that go in the bottom
that's
of the
why
drink.
I don't think I like tapioca.
You
so.
wouldn't like it.
Yeah, that's
and
why
for
I don't
these
want to
are
try
more
it.
like they're just like bursting ones.
Yeah.
And they could be more like a jelly sort of thing or have like fruit flavors. But this would be coffee.
But so here's what I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
If you put them in hot coffee, would they melt and just mix in?
You know, I've only had it with cold. It just always comes in that sort of drink.
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer to
Well-
that. I don't think they would melt, but I don't think it's usually done that way.
Also, with the pearls, like, do you need a straw? Like,
yeah, you need a big straw.
because in the picture it doesn't even show a straw because it's Starbucks.
No, you need, well, for them, okay, the Starbucks little popping pearls.
Yeah.
They seem a little small.
Yeah, they do look
okay?
tiny, right?
Those are tinier because, like Dunkin', they've been testing popping boba for a while.
Oh, yeah?
So those are bigger. You get like a really thick, big straw.
Okay.
And then you suck them all up and you feel like you're going to choke on them. And that's just part of the fun.
That's all part of the experience,
You're paying for the experience. But these look a lot smaller than normal, like, pearls. But they're calling them pearls because it's not like the size of boba.
Yeah. Well, I think I would think as well that boba, like, it would be associated with the tapioca thing, right?
Yeah, it's the same.
And so you wouldn't want...
They just burst.
You want people to know these are coffee, they're not tapioca.
Yeah, they're pearls.
So that for me, I will be interested, because I am interested. I just would want to try it in a hot drink, unless, again, that would melt them and it just mix in, and then that'd be boring.
It's usually cold drinks. There's 2 new drinks in the dark. It's their mysterious.
Yeah, that is
popping pearl one.
Vague, isn't it?
And then they have an iced chai tea latte with coffee pearls. So that's the 2 drinks that they're testing in Palm Desert and Bellevue and Washington. So if you're in those 2 areas for California or Washington, you can possibly try one of their new boba. Well, it's not boba.
No,
it's
popping pearls. Yeah. Well, I'm intrigued. If this ever makes it national, I'll definitely give it a shot. I'll finally get to initiate into the popping pearl world.
Well, try boba first, though.
No, I don't like tapioca. Do they make other flavors?
No, it's made out of tapioca.
Yeah, so I don't think I would like that.
Okay, in your mind, if you're thinking it's like tapioca pudding, it's not like that.
I know, but it's still
What
tapioca
is it?
It
is okay. You know what? Just one day, just open your heart and let it in. If you happen to be near a boba place,
No, I feel like Isaiah right now. Haven't had it.
Don't want to try
Hated it. Yeah.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.